Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ian.is.weird. Today we are going to be watching Alien, and we watched Predator last night, so it seems only appropriate that we watch Alien tonight. So I'm super excited. I have not seen Alien or any of these subsequent movies, including the Alien versus Predator series before. I don't know how I did not watch this, to be honest. First time for everything. But tonight seems as good as any. I'm going to be using my crochet stitch dictionary. I already frogged everything that I did yesterday because I was going to do a cardigan with this goblin yarn from Hirschner's, the Halloween Sparkle collection, and I decided this is just too pretty and I need a sweater. So I picked out a pattern that I want to make or use for this. So it's called Dots and Diamonds, and it looks like this. Now, I don't think it will be as much of a yarn eater as it looks like it could be, because it uh, it's not like a bunch of just like all single crochets or anything like that. Like, it does have some larger stitches that work over it, but I do think it's going to take quite a bit of yarn. I don't think it's going to be like, hey, I did a bunch of treble crochets and look. But I think that it will look really cool with the yarn, and I'm excited about it. So hopefully we can. I have 6 balls of this, and it's 8 ounces. They're 8 ounces each. So hopefully I can make the sweater that I'm going for with this. I've never made a sweater before. Started some with other patterns, but never made one myself. So this should be quite interesting. But that's the pattern that I'm going to be using. Now, I also put a question in the title of this video called "Should We Still Watch Scary Movies or Halloween movies?" And I want to kind of decide if for the 31 days or the days of Halloween or October, if we want to still watch Halloween movies or if we want to switch up the game and do something different for the last 31 days. So let me know if you still like watching the Halloween movies or if you'd rather do something different. I'm going to start this pattern. I looked up a bunch of, I spent so much time yesterday on camera and off camera looking up stitches that would be yarn saver patterns relative to yarn eating patterns, because I really want to make sure that I can get through and do the stitches that I need, but I also need relative coverage in a sweater, and don't really want something that's just like, even just something that's like just double crochets, like it's still pretty, like there's still a lot of open spots. So I still need more coverage. Even though I wear my binder a lot of the time, I wanted to have it just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and start this, start chaining for this. Now, I'm trying to decide my hook size. So I like, my brain is like going to a 5mm because I think that's a nice medium one for this particular stitch. It's already, they said it's firm but surprisingly soft. So if it's firm, it already has a lot of, like, maybe I can move up to a 5.5. Let's do a 5.5. I think I have that actually like right nearby. Girls. Because that's what an eye hook is, right? 5.5. I don't use this size hook often, but tonight I'm going to. So let me get us set up. And we'll get started. Oh, I need to feed my animals real quick. Sorry about that. Be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna have to restart my phone anyways because it's not connecting, of course. Great way to start the evening. Okay, I'll be right back. Get that hook there. Doesn't that look nasty and you don't want to eat it when you start orange food? Because I'm sure. Okay, we're gonna start the movie. Thank you for waiting for me. Okay, so let's see if we're able to connect to Roku this time. Okay, there we go. I don't know why it does this sometimes. Okay, so I'm watching on Hulu, but it looks like it's available in a couple other places. It looks like it's available on Disney Plus. Hey, Lydia. I'm here if I go to sleep on you. I didn't sleep well last night. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Yeah, knee pain and any kind of pain can keep you up, kind of mess up your sleep. So I understand, but don't feel the need to stay up if you can't stay awake. Don't push yourself more than you gotta. Definitely not for my on my expense. Oh no, it's saying that it's not connected. Oh, come on. Just disconnected again. I hope we don't have this kind of night again. Okay, let's try restarting the phone again. Hey Faith, welcome in. We're just trying to get started. I'm having some connectivity issues with my phone and the Roku. I am starting over. I've frogged all of the work that I did, and now I am trying to. I'm using a 5.5 hook to do this particular stitch, and hopefully that will be a good size for what I need. Because I want it to be like pretty full coverage. But I'm gonna do the dots and diamonds stitch that I think we talked about yesterday. This one. Okay, we're hooked up again. Hey China, welcome in. How are you? So I'm gonna start working on a sweater. How's everyone doing? What's everyone working on? I'm gonna have to take some measurements, which always sucks because I feel like whenever you crochet like an item for you to wear, it always looks so big, and you're like, "Am I really this big?" At least I am. So it's gonna look extra big, and people are gonna be like, "Are you making a blanket?" And I'm gonna be like, "This is something for the size of my body." That's what happened last time. So I'm watching Alien today. I've never seen it, but I watched Predator last night, so I thought it would be appropriate to watch this today. I'm gonna take my measurements. Can find it. And tape measure. Okay. now that I have kind of an idea of how long I want my chain to be for the back panel. Fall mesh top. Ooh. Yeah, the diamond dots. Yeah, that's the one I'm doing. I just thought it had a great texture look to it, and I thought it would look really great with the particular uh, yarn that I'm using, which is the Goblin yarn from the Halloween collection from Hirschner's. Friend's blanket seems like it's going slower now. Oh yeah, once you're on it goes slower and slower the more you go on, right? That's just every project, but especially something like blanket. You're still a champion for getting all that done, though. Okay, now my dog's getting into it, which is good. Need him to eat. Sometimes he can be a little finicky. He more so just like doesn't really care that much about eating, which is weird. Okay, so and then I got the +3 +1 foundation chain. Insert hook, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through one loop, over. That's just a chain. That's just a chain. Using like 7 different colors. Wow, that's a lot to keep track of. Okay, so we see people in like basically Depends underwear or like cloth underwear in these little pods. That's just a bunch of Christmas lights on like a wall. Okay. So right now it looks kind of like this, where there's just these little bumps. They're doing kind of like a sideways pico type situation, kind of. This guy's smoking a cigarette on like a space station or in like a space vehicle. Doesn't seem like it would make a whole lot of sense, but okay. Get my little pillow. It's on the first panel. Not done. This guy's like obsessed with like, give me my money, which okay. Now we're in for 2 minutes of ads. I hate when I have to like move my little earring to get my um, earring to get my headphone and earbud in. I had done like maybe 5 or so inches at the back of a cardigan in these colors, and then I was like, I can't. I have to make sure I have enough yarn because I have to have a sweater out of this. For those of you who didn't see it yesterday, so I frogged it all, and I'm just like back to square one. But that's okay because hopefully I will have a sweater of my dreams. And I wanted to have like an interesting stitch to look at, so it had some nice texture as well. Does anyone else like the Alien movies, or they've seen them? They have any opinions on them? Don't spoil anything for me because I'm still watching Alien 1 for the first time. But if you like them or don't like them or you've seen them, let me know. Have any of you tried the Stitch of the Month? I know Nightbot just dropped it. And I'm just curious if any of you have given it a try and wondered what you think. I don't even remember what the Stitch of the Month is. Because I know I did a Stitch tutorial for the garter legging thing that I am working on, but that's not the Stitch of the... Oh, the Stitch of the Month is... my fabric's falling down. The Stitch of the Month is the stitch and the modified stitch for this Swamp Witch shawl that I did a couple of years, or maybe last year. No, yeah, I did it last year. Hey, buddy, you get some food in you? My stomach won't be so unhappy. Very unhappy today. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. I saw a black dog. Someone else had black dog, and I was like, someone stole my Riker. Someone stole my Riker, but they didn't have as much white under their chin, and I knew it wasn't you. A little gray beard. He used to be just like stark black, but now he's a mix of German Shepherd and black lab. So he's starting to get more white in his fur. Even like when he was like 1, he was having more white in his fur. So not. I mean, I'm sure the age. I mean, he's 4 and he's about to turn 4. Wait, no, he is 4. He turns 5 this December. He is a cute dog. He's very sweet. When we go out, he wears a muzzle in my apartment complex. And he does this because he has a little bit of leash aggression towards dogs that are his size or bigger, specifically male dogs. It's because he's like anxious. So he can get a little barky. He can start to pull a little bit. We have a no pull leash that's really good. But the muzzle doesn't keep him from like panting or like if he needs to like growl or whatever. But he doesn't. He can't bite if for whatever reason it came down to that. So just keeping everything good, and it helps reduce his anxiety too. I think because it's just kind of like a he's safe type of thing. So he's been doing really well with that. But people like look at him and they're like, "That's a dangerous dog," and I'm like, "No, this is not a dangerous dog. I promise you that." It's very sweet. You get your leg trapped on the yarn. Oh my god, my cat freaked out because the yarn was trapped on his leg, and just like started just skirting around like, ah, it got me. That's funny. I guess she's okay. Yeah, great spot, buddy. Great spot. Yeah, this is perfect. It's so easy to crochet. Yeah, Great Danes are, you know, I've heard their, personalities for sure. That's what I've heard, but I've never had one. But I always wanted a Great Dane because I always loved Scooby Doo. They're big dogs. They're so big. Okay, so now I've reached the end of row one, and what I have to do next. This seems efficient, right? Okay, chain three and turn. So this counts as one double crochet. Skip the first stitch. One double crochet in each stitch till the end. Hey Zach, welcome in. Okay, I was like, whoa, this is definitely not Alien. It's an ad for a sandals resort. You want a Saint Bernard? Oh my gosh, I can only imagine the drool that those babies have. I think the only thing I'm not actually like really a dog person. Right. Um, but I got Riker to be a service animal, um, and he did not uh, do. He did really well um, in training, his training, but unfortunately he wasn't able to pass because he at the end of it they give you like a socialization that you have to do yourself, but we got him during the pandemic, so we weren't able to socialize him with a lot of dogs. So I think a lot of that is the reason why he has anxiety around dogs now, is because he just wasn't socialized when he was younger, and it makes it a lot harder for him to be around. So this is JL. His full name is Jean Luc, but we call him JL. He wants to bite my cheek. He loves biting my cheeks. Very rude. If you like Star Trek, then you'll realize the connection between their names. This is Jean Luc and that's Riker. So they're named after the captain and the first mate of the Starship Enterprise in Star Trek The Next Generation. Hi, Purr Boy. Hi, Purr Boy. Okay, now we're back to Alien. Hey, Nifty, welcome in. Have a great day when I go over there. He wants to play with me. Oh, that's so sweet. I got the whole family. I got my dog's butt here. I got my cat's butt here, and then my cat is helping me crochet by being on top of my non-dominant arm. At least he's not biting me, so I'll take it. It's interesting. There you go. See, I told you to try to bite me. Like some parts of this movie, so this movie was made in 1979. Some parts of this movie you can tell that they really blew the budget on. He's not helping me. He's a menace to society. Um, but uh, he also really likes attention. No idea where he got that from. But then other parts, it's like it looks very just it looks so outdated. But for the time, I feel like a lot of this looks really good. Like it looks like a big budget film. Like you can just tell, which is cool to see sci-fi being big budget because it wasn't always, and it isn't always. So definitely makes a big difference. Doesn't have to make it a good or bad movie. We've seen movies with big budgets be terrible, right? But the practical effects of them like building the ship, building the scenes, I mean, they're evident. I mean, people put a lot of work into this design, and that's, I mean, I think practical effects hold up so much better than like CGI and stuff like that because CGI and stuff like that, they're constantly evolving. That's why when you watch things like Jurassic Park still holds up because, well, like the first ones, because they built the dinosaurs, like they built like a T Rex head, so it holds up because even though yeah, tech has gotten better, it still looks amazing because they built those things and made them look as real as possible. You want to come up here? Hey, Angelic. You know you want. There you go. It's okay. You can fit. I promise. You can fit. He's a big dog, but you can fit. Oh, the outside of the ship looks just incredible. Okay, we're gonna try this again. Wow, it's just beautiful. He said the bones bent outward like it exploded from inside. Hint, hint. But what they're looking at clearly isn't a human. So they've deciphered part of the, you know, thing, and originally they're like, maybe it's an SOS, and it turns out it looks more like a warning. Okay, so now we can start to see a little bit more like CGI type stuff. And it definitely looks a little silly, but you got your job! Congratulations, Nifty! I knew that job interview was going to go well with you. For you, I had a feeling, but you never know what's guaranteed. But I hope for the best. So, congratulations, Nifty. And if everyone could send a congratulations to Nifty, leathery objects like eggs. And then he like falls into it. It's like there's that layer of mist that reacts um, when you when you break it, and then he just falls into it. Nice. Oh, the color change in this yarn is so good. I still don't always, usually, most of the time. We start October 1st. Nice, that's very soon. Start making that money. Okay, he's gonna touch the egg, which obviously is gonna be a bad call. Some of them have like bugs crawling out of them. There's like there's some movement inside the eggs. Feel like we might get our first jump scare soon. Yeah, put your head right there in the opening of the egg, which definitely does not look like anything else. Yep, first jump scare and a face hugger. make sure you're going into the stitch if you're trying to do the stitch. If this stitch ends up looking out great, good, I'll do this for the stitch of the month, maybe next month. I don't have anything in particular planned for next month, but if there are ever any stitches that you're like, this is something I've been having trouble with and I want to learn how to do more, let me know and I'll do a stitch of the month video on it if I can figure it out. Because I'm not the best crocheter in the world, but I'm half decent sometimes. So Ripley's trying to be the only one who's reasonable. Okay, we have a commercial break. Ripley's like, quarantine procedures, something's attached itself to this guy's face. We can't just let it in. You gotta know, we have to do 24 hours, make sure it's safe. She keeps saying no, she keeps saying no, she keeps saying no, and they're like, do it, it's an order, he might die, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, it could infect the whole ship. And she's like, it can infect the whole ship. And she's like, no, no, no. And someone goes over her head and just lets them in. And the rest is alien history. Okay. This is dead. This one I'm not loving right now because I need a new filter for it because it tastes a little like. So don't judge me for bouncing back and forth. The stitch is so beautiful. I do wish when they did some stitch tutorials like the step-by-step that they use variegated yarn. Okay. We're going to chain one and turn. So he's got a face hugger all around his face, and then it's wrapped around his neck as well. and there's acid that comes out of it that's just like burning through the floor. So this is the first, what do they call it? Front raised treble two together. So it looks like this little V. So the dots are the picos, and then you're gonna have this shape around it. So it's gonna give these kind of like rippling. Oh, sorry, I didn't even read. Looking forward to it. I'm so glad you're looking forward to it. You should. You earned it, and it's gonna be awesome. It should give you the creeps. This place is fucking creepy. Good call, friend. So I do feel like this is going to be a bit of a yarn eating pattern. And I really hope I have enough yarn because it's so cool. It's so cool looking. I wish I didn't do that chain one to turn because now it's kind of, this is what it looks like right there. But that's what the pattern asks for. So that's why sometimes I alter patterns just because I'm like, it's not doing what I need to do. Also, this pattern is not reversible. It has a right side to it, so making sure your picos are sticking out when they should be is important. Ripley's a hard bitch because she's like, I fucking told you to not let this motherfucker in. Uh, oh, yes, this is the sparkle yarn. This is the Halloween worsted sparkle yarn from Hirschner's. They also have a holiday, nondescript holiday, sparkle yarn for the winter holidays. So if you like those holidays more, or you want those, or you want the access to those are available on the Hirschner's website as well. now everyone's mad at Ripley for like following. She's ripping him to shreds right now. She is reading him down. She's like, "You broke quarantine. You brought that motherfucker in here. His death is going to be on you, and if we all get sick, it's going to be on you." And he's like, "What would you have done?" And she's like, "Not that. I would have done quarantine, like I said." Yeah, I'll see if you can. I'll show you the ball of yarn, and hopefully you can see the sparkle really well. At first, the sparkle did bother me a little bit running over my finger with my tension, but I quickly grew used to it, and it didn't bother me. Um, Depending on your texture sensitivity, you might be more or less sensitive to it. Um, the ball did feel really a little scratchy, like an average Red Heart Super Saver. But working it up, it's actually grown softer to me, and it's easier to use. So, and now the face hugger is gone, and everyone's gonna go in that room. What is the yarn made of? So I'm covering when I frogged it. I covered the band. The other one's over there. I believe it's like 80 acrylic, 20 polyamide. So it's all plastic. I feel like we're gonna get a jump scare here soon. Not in the corner. Oh, you start to see the tail behind her, and it falls on her. And then he's like, "We got to have a look at this." But it's some mix like that. It's acrylic and then whatever the metallic is. There's a lot of metallic in it. It's not like just like a little bit of shimmer. I will say that what I had to do when I started, so I made my slip knot, and then I noticed that the metallic immediately fell off the yarn, off the acrylic base. I don't know if you can kind of see that there. So what I did is I just tied a really small knot at the end, just to keep the metallic from just fiddling its way into the rest of um, everything else uh, I'm working on. So now they're cutting into this thing. They're like, it's dead. And she's like, good, let's get rid of it. And they're going to want to keep it. It's going to lay eggs. Havoc is going to. I'm going to pause this real quick because I do really want to watch this. But I'm going to get something to drink because I'm thirsty. And boy, is thirsty. So this is 1979, right? So I really like that that Ripley is not like she's not like a lot of the movies I feel like of this time that we've seen, like the woman is often like in hysterics, like like they're being so unreasonable and the men don't listen to them. Like Ripley's being like the most reasonable and people still aren't listening to her. So I feel like she's like the only one with like a grain of common sense that's like, let's not keep this sucker on board. And everyone else is like, but the science of it all, but the like, yeah, like everyone's just kind of, but like quarantine procedures, she's trying to be like very scientific. Like you can tell she's like very serious and like she's just like not taken seriously. So I feel like that's a really interesting dynamic that we haven't seen from a lot of the movies around this era. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I think it's well known, even if you haven't seen the Alien series, that Ripley is a hardcore bitch. Like not like she's a bitch, but like she's like tough. Like I think everyone knows that Ripley is tough, and I think that that's pretty standard across people who enjoy the movies. But it's interesting to see, especially when you see the time that this was made, that everyone else who would not have had the composure that she has. Um, how they're playing it very differently and what makes this movie different already. So let's watch. So Ripley doesn't trust Ash. She's like, he's gonna get himself killed. So now I'm alternating between these two front trebles together, uh, and the picos. Excuse me, sir. You know you're not supposed to be up there. We're hot. We're getting hotter. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. So doing this little pico here is really interesting because normally I feel like this would be a place for a bobble, but they've chosen something smaller than a bobble um, uh, for this particular. So I started to see that he's eating a ton. The guy that woke up from. Now he's like seizing. You see this little tubby tub? And we saw the first inkling of a chest burster. You just see blood kind of squirt out. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Hey, Loki. Now they have to search their whole ship for this chest burster, which this ship is huge. It's huge. So this is a terrible, terrible position that they put themselves in. All because no one listened to Ripley time and time again. And then they shoot them out into space just like they do in Star Trek, which is, you know, appropriate, but also how you spread plagues from from planet to planet. But okay, I feel like I should use a larger hook. I feel like so. This is what it looks like right now. I mean, it looks so good, and it is very dense. But is it? I feel like we could maybe. I don't know. What about like 6.5? Too big? It's 5.5. I still can't get over the fact that this guy is literally chain smoking in space. Like, that would not be a problem. What do you all think? Do you think that? Well, I guess maybe I'll probably keep it this size for a little bit, but I might go up a hook size just to see how it looks because it's very like they're right. It's a very thick fabric, but it's also very flexible, just due to how the nature of it. Hey Jenny, welcome in. So I'm currently working on a sweater um, with this yarn from Hirschner's. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm just gonna go. Okay, you keep going. Okay, because like the thing is like it's it's covering the double crochets, the space between double crochets so well that I'm like probably stretch it out a little bit further, and then I can get rid of this turning chain that is bothering me. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just one of the panels, back panel. I just want to make sure I have enough yarn. That's all I care about. Like that's the only reason I'm having any of these considerations. Do I have enough yarn? They're trying to use a net The holes are literally this big. Oh my gosh, it's a cat. But like the chest burster was like this big. Oh god, hold on one second. Sorry for that very quick escape. Um, I saw my cat like beside the computer, like rubbing his butt on the carpet, and I'm like, oh no. And so if you are a pet parent, you know that feeling, and you're like, oh my gosh. So you have to like jump up from whatever you're doing and just get to going. Doing your diamond art painting. Cool. How's it going, Lydia? Um, but luckily there was nothing. I guess maybe there was just some butthole trauma in the bathroom that he needed to feel a little bit better after. Let's change subjects. Let's go back to Alien. Okay, so we're more than halfway through this movie, which is it's going a little bit different pace than I expected. I thought we were kind of in the first like 30 minutes, but interesting. I like when movies pace themselves kind of differently than you would expect. I bet he's gonna try to find the cat that jumped out when they used the little screener, and he's gonna come face to face with the alien somehow. So they sent the guy off who didn't catch the cat to be like, hey, he's gonna throw up our scans to try to find this alien. Now the cat's like, I gotta skedaddle. But now there's like the skin, like the shedding of a skin of the chest burster. And this guy isn't yelling out. He's not saying, hey, y'all, come look at this fucking skin that I found. He's like, nope. Basically, I used a condom. Let's just drop it on the ground. Son, that's how you end up dead in these movies. I know, because I'm not dead in one of those movies. There's just like water dripping down inside the little space station vessel that they're in. I don't understand why that would be. That seems like how you get mold, right? Unless it's like condensation off of machines or something. But even still, like you gotta collect that. Wait, oh, there's chains hanging behind them. Oh, and now we're seeing like a big tail. Oh, that baby grew in size very quickly. Oh, it looks so good. The cat's just watching him die, as the cat would. The cat's just like, earbud got the burps for some reason. That's okay. The burps happened to us all at one point. Yeah, this stitch is very pretty. I'm just like, I'm so worried that I'm gonna get really far into it, almost done with it, realize don't have enough yarn. So that's why, if you see me kind of like sweating the size, that's what it's about. Also, just how long it'll take me to get done with it. Because if it's too long, then I might lose interest, even with the pretty colors. I still think this room with the Christmas lights is so that now they're asking their very smart computer about like can we kill this alien and the computer's like, we don't know, not enough data. What are my chances? It does not compute. He's also carrying like a torch with him. Because they're like, most animals flee from fire. What happened? Where did I go wrong? Oh, I only did one half of the two together. Let's find some alien jelly. He's just blowing that torch. So they have on all the instruments that the alien should be. And then the alien's just like, Max. Are apples good for burps or bad for burps? Ripley is so cool. Scary godmother. Ooh. Cynical but optimistic. Ooh, I like that name. Um, if it's available, I will put it on my list. Also, I'm a little bit of a baby, so if it's too scary, I might not be able to watch it. But I will put it on my list. Honestly, I think I'm gonna run out of. I don't think I'm gonna have enough days to watch all these movies. But that's okay. I can watch them on my own time. But cool. Thank you. Love suggestions. It's got to be on a streaming service that I have. So, and I have quite a few of them. Ripley's just like, stop. Everyone, like, you calm down, stop being just yelly bitch. You stop trying to fight everybody. You stop trying to step over like all the safeguards we have in place that would have stopped all this to begin with. Ripley's Ripley's down. Ripley knows what's up. Science officer eyes only. And she's like, oh, science officer is incapable. Crew expendable is basically what. So he put it in there, and he was like, "We have to get the we have to get the life form back, and the crew is expendable." And that's what the science officer, who she's been like, "Fuck this guy," the whole time. Um, that's what Go kick his little ass, Ripley. Oh, he's like sweating white. So he's being controlled by one of the aliens somehow. Damn, just turn around. So he's just like sweating semen. And then he just throws her again. So they basically made a new operation in their like command system to go back and get all of the eggs. So that and he's just having a fit now because the aliens like, okay, we're gonna make our way out now, and his neck just falls backwards. That's so fun. Now, what is he getting beat with? Like a fake hot dog? What's happening? Ash is a robot. So that they're saying the company that, you know, is in charge of them planted the science officer there on purpose, who is a robot. It's like covered in like candle wax. Kind of looks like a little bit of a scene that you might see in a movie. He's saying that it can't be killed. perfect organism. That's how it's describing. He's like, I can't lie to you about your chances, but um, you have my sympathies. And she just like, smacks the robot. Fuck you, robot. And they just burn the robot. Nope, I only did half of that one. Ripley is a badass. I don't really like this like Pico like bobble that they're trying to insist because it just flips the other way so easy. They really have to keep pushing it forward to make sure that it's the right direction. But this is what it looks like. This is what row 2 looks like. Especially with the black and the color change, you can really see that. It looks really nice, and it's very flexible, but it is quite thick. So great for like a cooler fall or winter sweater, especially depending on what you make it with. This is really making me want to watch the Alien versus Predator movies. trying to find the cat. Priorities, Ripley. Priorities. If a cat's jumping out like that, you gotta be like, there's an alien around. Not just in this movie, but in real life. She just stays in the way. Ugh. It's a little spiky tail. It's coming up between her legs. Oh, it's gonna right up your ass. Yeah, my dog's snoring. So she's gonna turn on like the self destruct. Which is like a 6 or 8 minute timer. Okay, so 10 minutes. So this is what it looks like on the back. So you can see it's not really anything special. Um, we're just kind of doing on the back. It basically looks like just an alternating between double crochet and single crochet rows, but all the interest and the intrigue is on the front, assuming that you got your little dots to the front. And it's trying to kill the cat. Okay, so she's gonna turn off the self-destruct so that she can get into the shuttle. She put the cat in the shuttle, and now the alien's in the shuttle with the cat, trying to eat the cat. She's trying to get the fuck out. So she tried to turn it off, but hasn't been able to turn it off. So, because it was like, here's your window. She's got a little flame thrower gun, which is pretty cool, but seems really dangerous to just have rolling around there. Definitely looks like a video game weapon. There's so many like lights and flashing, like smoke blowing everywhere. If you are photosensitive at all, I would not suggest watching this movie because it's like blink, 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 blink. Yes. like the lighting effect on um, on on some of these scenes is so intense and really great to see. It's just, I mean, beautifully done. I remain impressed from like start to finish, except for that one moment where they tried to CGI him into like the cave with the alien eggs. She just threw, you just threw the box with the cat in it. She's just like, yeah, fuck it. Which sometimes you gotta do. I'm not even sure if Alien is on this shuttle with her. Okay, so let's see where this should connect. Okay, so the first one is just a single. It's not going to be two together. She's hugging her cat, which honestly I understand it's a little orange doofus like you. It's a little orange doofus like you, Jelly. There's a little baby sized pod for little kittens. She's not wearing pants. You can see if I correctly. Oh, and there's a hand. So teeth are coming out. Gentle. You managed to make my ergonomic pillow far less ergonomic. So she hopes going out in spacesuit carries less noticeable because the cat wasn't able to be noticed in the box. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? For tuna bugs, nobody puts jelly in the box. Yes. Yeah, this is my cat, JL. Hey Crystal, welcome in. I am making, I'm working on a sweater. I've gotten this far. I did a fair amount of work to start a cardigan, and then I was like, I need to make sure I have enough yarn to make a sweater. So I'm really hoping that I do have enough. Okay, Nikki, congratulations on your job again. She's putting the thing out into space. Oh no, it got trapped on the side. Oh, and it's back on the side of the ship. And it's going into one of the thrusters or something. But it seems to be holding on. Maybe not. Okay. So you're getting a bunch of different views of the same. She killed them. Good morning. It's not quite morning yet. Right? Not in where either you are. And the cat survived, which is really what we care about. That's what this cat cares about. Okay, the movie's done. I can't sit up. Because of obvious reasons. That's okay. We all do it sometimes. Okay, we're gonna move just a little bit, but it's okay. We're still gonna be chill and loved. And okay, we're gonna be okay. So, okay. Please, out. That's a nail. It might help. It might the skin. Ouch. Okay. Okay. So let's get out of here. Go home. So Alien was really good. It was awesome. Uh, just a really good movie, really solid. I love the practical effects, the makeup, the um, the scenes they created are just were all. You know, you said what you said. Crystal, got to keep in mind, Crystal's from Chicago. um, but I don't know what that means. Like Crystal's from Chicago. Period. Done. Moving on. It was really fun to watch. I don't know why I was so scared of watching it before, because it wasn't scary. I mean, there were like a couple of jump-ish scares, but you kind of knew when they were coming, so it wasn't really a jump scare. Um, Especially a movie that's out that long, right? You know, a movie that came out in 1979. So my cat's trying to. Also, in case you don't know anything about cats, cats have this thing called their scruff. I think dogs have it too, but you can grab that. They have this excess skin behind their necks, and vets will do it, will hold it to get control of the neck so that they can't bite you. Um, and it's what the mom will hold on to when they're like carrying the babies around. So if you have a cat or dog that's biting you and you can get them by the scruff, you can redirect them move them away from you. So don't think that I just like wrenched my cat by his neck and just threw him all over the side of the couch. But yeah, so the movie was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm kind of sad that I haven't seen it before, but definitely makes me want to watch the rest of the series because it was very, very fun. And I liked it a lot. I think that in terms of comparing some of the effects to Predator, which we watched last night, I mean, there's a lot more. They had to do a lot more with like the Predator's like vision and stuff like that at the time. So like they had to rely more heavily on what they thought the Predator's vision would look like, and so that does kind of make it look a little dated. But as for practical effects, both are great. I know I spent like 30 minutes trying to figure out how they did the mud on Arnold, because like it's supposed to like look kind of wet the whole time and stuff like that, and it's really interesting. I was like, how did they make that? Because they couldn't have used real mud because real mud would have dried. There were some parts where you could tell it was dry, and then like they cut to like another part of the scene, and they like pan back, and he's like soaking wet again. But just to keep it dry, to keep it wet, to keep it. It's like he does have heat vision. So yeah, the way that they made that look kind of made it look a little bit dated, but they're both from around the same time. I forget exactly when Predator. I said it yesterday, but I forget when Predator came out. Let's see. Okay, so Predator was 1987. Actually, so they're not that close. So Alien came out in 1979, so that's an 8-year difference. But you can also tell, I've said it before, I'll say it again, the budget on these films. Like Predator, they probably expected a good, solid. They probably had a good, solid budget, given that Arnold was kind of at his acting height, or like getting up there in his acting heyday. Whereas you can tell immediately. Well, I won't say immediately because I will say the very first scenes you see in Alien look almost identical to like very early Star Wars, which is like you just kind of don't really know what budget you're dealing with because it's just like they put a shape in space. So it's like, who knows what this is about. Um, so, yeah. Um, but really, really fun to watch. Really was a badass, is a badass. Really happy I get to watch that. Yeah, definitely used a big portion of the budget paying him. But even like, yeah, you can tell like how they allocate budget and stuff like that. And like when they talk about like, overall budget versus like projected earnings and stuff. But you can tell that when they like in all of like how good Alien was, they expected it to be a giant hit. It does stand up to today. And I was saying earlier, like, I think a lot of that falls to the fact that they used practical effects, like using makeup and like apparatuses to like build up an alien figure rather than having like a CGI alien. Like, I think when you put CGI in something, it immediately dates something. It's like a carbon dating to that time period because 10 years can pass and it can look ancient. And I said part of the reason Jurassic Park holds up, like the first one always like stands out to me is because they literally built like a T-Rex head. And so like it's not gonna look like CGI in 20 years, 30 years, and that really makes a big difference. But Alien is so good. Ripley, the character, the character of Ripley is so good, and for this era is, I would say, like unheard of in like everything I've seen from the genre, from the sci-fi genre, from the horror genre, from the suspense genre, like because they always paint like these women to be just like incapable of like making like educated and like well thought out and scientific and reasonable decisions. They're often painted as like people who just like don't know how to deal with these types of things. They can't be taken in serious roles. And then you have Ripley who's there, and like Ripley is such a fucking badass, and Ripley is like calling people out from second one to like moment one to moment done, like why are we like overriding safety protocols? There's a quarantine protocol that we need to pay attention to, and like they like all of this stuff, and like people aren't listening to her, but she's still like so like strong. Like that is such a good character. I almost want to just be like, this is maybe one of the best movies ever made, because because to me like that is such a character that like like young women can like look up to and be like, and granted like she wasn't listened to a lot and a lot of bad shit happened as a result, so you can be like, look, listen to her. But like she stood her ground. She like when people didn't listen to her and bad shit happened, she's like, so who's going to take accountability for this? Because like you fucked up, you fucked up, you like she didn't back down from shit. She was badass. She was a total badass. So like, I mean, like anyone would look up to that as like a good character. And she didn't need to be aggressive. She like she's just like, oh, like that. What amazing character development. Um, and honestly, the movie flew by. I could have done with like I felt like I didn't feel like I was bored by any means, but I just was like, I could use more of this. I could watch this like 8 times, because she's just like the whole storyline is so good. And then they also contrasted that with a female character who did play more classical like role, and like the panicking and stuff like that. Like she didn't do it like exclusively, so it's not, they didn't just use Ripley to play off of another character who couldn't handle shit, but even, and then there were men who weren't handling things well, and so it really kind of had like the range of like human emotions in there, and it was so good. It was so good. It was so well written. I'm like, I need to see all these movies now. I need to watch all the Alien versus Predator movies. Um, because it was so good. It was so good. I'm so glad I watched that. I don't know if you know, I said it with Predator. Like I wouldn't have put Predator in a Halloween movie category normally. And even maybe Alien. Like Alien maybe for like a creature feature type you know, watch list. Um, but Alien versus Predator, I feel like those could be Halloween movies. So I was like, okay, well, individually, we'll put those movies together. So, so yeah, I really was just like this. I was so entertained. It was so good. It just hit the spot. It was such a fun movie. Um, so yeah. So I asked a question at the beginning of the video, and also it's in the title. But I was wondering, do we want to continue watching? We're getting very close to 31 Nights of Halloween for October. do we want to continue watching Halloween movies, or do we want to pivot and do something more crafty or something different? Um, what do you all think? Do you like the movies? Because I'm having fun watching movies, but I can watch movies any other time of the day. I always want to make sure it's fun for you all to watch. Some movies I know I'm more quiet and I need to like kind of pay attention more. Some of them I'm paying more attention to my crafting. Some of them, I'm just yapping away. Like today, I was yapping away. I get into arguments with my TV. Nobody listens to me. It's so weird. But that was really fun. I'm glad I got to hang out with my pets. My big Buddhist Judith. I'm gonna have to take him out soon. Um, but uh, but yeah, hopefully it's not raining. Um, but yeah, I think that is fun. I was gonna put on. I almost put on something else today. There's so many movies. Oh my gosh. I am working my way through my sticky notes though. So if I write something down, I'm no one. You know that's not true. Okay, so I have not been watching I Like You enjoying movies. Okay, cool. So I put Alien and I put Predator and then I put Alien versus Predator. I have said I won't be watching sequels because there's so many sequels or series off of these initial movies that I feel like I would just like I could fill a whole year with the sequels and stuff. So I haven't been watching those, but I could try to see about Alien versus Predator and see if that would be because technically that would be the first of a franchise, even though they would be different. Um, let's see, I wrote one. What was the movie that I almost watched? Oh, there's Corpse Bride. That's a really cute movie. Although that makes me go, black people can't be in Tim Burton movies. Okay, sure. Um, let me see. What is? Oh my gosh, Knock at the Cabin was so good. If you have not seen it, I will warn you, you might cry. I You probably will cry at the end or at some point. It's it gets you right in the feels. Halloween. Did I watch Friday the 13th? Not in this series. So Friday the 13th is still there. Happy Death Day was a really fun one. Um, there's a lot. There's so many movies. I really wish that the live action Scooby Doo was available for free somewhere because I love Matthew Lillard and I love Scooby Doo. Um, but it's not. Uh, Let me see if Scooby Doo and the Witches goes because that's my favorite. I think that's my favorite animated Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo. There's Zombie Island, which is a good one. Okay, I guess I have to clarify because they don't know that this is like the best one. Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Okay, so it's available on HBO Max. So I could watch some Scooby-Doo, which is always good, because that is good. It's not, apparently the live action isn't on Max or something. Okay, so I feel really bad, but I gotta go because I need to take my dog out. So if you have any movie suggestions, please let me know. I hope you all are doing well. Please let me know what you're working on in Army of Weirdos, and I will talk